Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I am Survi Goyal, a legal intern at LexClick. Today we are going to talk about Shankari Prasad versus Union of India, amendability fundamental rights. We all know that this case was one of the landmark cases, and it was one of the landmark judgment. So let's talk about this amazing case. Okay, the case of Shankari Prasad versus Union of India contribute to the journey of the doctrine of basic structure, which was the result of ongoing struggle between the judiciary and the legislature of the supremacy in independent India. The question of whether the fundamental rights can be amended under Article 368 was brought before the Supreme Court of India. In this case, validity of First Amendment of the Constitution 1951 was challenged, which curtailed the right of property. The fundamental right under Article 31 provides the right to property. The basic argument which was brought towards in the above case was the Article 13 prohibits the enactment of law abrogating the fundamental right. Supreme Court narrowed the scope of Article 13 Clause 2. So let's talk about the background of the case. After the independence of India, the agrarian land reform through legislation was enacted in the state of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, which was known as the Zamindari Abolition Act. The Zamindari were upset because of due to this they were deprived of their respective land holdings. The Zamindars, to get hold to properties, filed a petition to the High Court of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, as this law is violative of their fundamental rights. The Patna High Court invalidated the Bihar Land Reforms Act 1950, whereas the High Courts of Allahabad and Nagpur upheld the validity of the legislation in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. The government brought forward a remedy in the form of Constitution, the First Amendment Act 1951, to put an end to various litigation regarding the same issue. Zamindars reacted by bringing the petition under Article 32 of the Constitution and raised the question whether the Constitutional First Amendment Act 1951, which was passed by the Parliament, and insert Article 31A and Article 31B in the Constitution of India is unconstitutional or void. So now let's talk about the issues that were raised in this case. Okay, whether the first constitutional amendment 1951 passed by the Parliament is valid. Second issue was whether the word law used under Article 13 Clause 2 also includes the law of amendment of the Constitution of India. The law involved in this case was Article 13 Clause 2 of the Indian Constitution, Article 31A and 31B, Article 368 of the Constitution of India, Article 132 and Article 226. So let's talk about the application of the law. Article 13 Clause 2 mentions that no law can be enacted which abridges a fundamental right. Article 368 provides for the amending power of the Constitution of India. So the petitioner's argument, the advocate from the petitioner contained on the following points. The Parliament was incompetent in exercising its power mentioned under Article 379 as the power mentioned under Article 368 of amending the Constitution is not conferred on Parliament, but it as a nominative body of two Houses of Parliament. Under Article 368, power conferred on them calls for collegial action from both the Houses of Parliament and could be justly operated only by the Parliament to be duly to be incorporated as under Chapter 2 of Part 4. The Article 368 is complete code and it neglects for any amendments in the bill after it is being given in the House for its passing. The further stated that the bill in this case, which has been amended on several occasions before it came in front of the House, the Amendment Act has not been passed in conformity as per the prescribed procedure in Article 368. The First Amendment Act 1951, which inserts Article 31A and 31B, violate the abridges the fundamental rights and confers through Part 3 of the Constitution with the restriction of Article 13 Clause 2. The Article 31A and 31B, which is inserted through the First Amendment Act 1951, also seeks to bring changes in Chapter 4 of Part 5, Article 132 and 136, and Chapter 5 of Part 6, Article 226. These requirements for ratification under Clause B of Article 368 has to be followed, and it has not been ratified in here, and so they are void and unconstitutional. It also ultra-vires the matter in List 2, for which the only state legislature and not parliament have any power to make laws. Now let's talk about the respondent's argument. On the very first instance, it was submitted that according to the fundamental law of our independent India, the constitution, it should not be held liable for changes as per the wishes of the party majorities. The framers of the constitution have placed special hardship in the path of amending the constitution by providing three different classes for amendment. First includes those which are affected by the bare majority of the passing of ordinary law. Second includes those which are affected by special majority under Article 368. And third include those which are in addition to the Special Majority Act as required in second class and ratification required by not less than one half of the state, as mentioned in the first schedule in its Part A and Part B. The third class is mentioned in Article 368 seeks for changes in the provision. The Parliament, which includes the two houses of Parliament and the President, conferred as the first class of amendment. The Parliament is supposed to have been conferred with the power of amending the other two classes as no clear indication have been given. As the difference between the class is merely procedural and no reasons have been given to put their trust in a different body for it. So now let's talk about the judgment. The judgment was delivered by Honorable Judge M. Patanjali Sastry. The court unanimously held that even if the amendment is considered to be superior or ordinary legislation, it will not be able to strike its validity by Article 13 Clause 2. The word law is given under Article 13 Clause 2. Ordinary will be inclusive of constitutional amendment, but it must be consideration of ordinary legislative powers. And thereto the constitutional amendment done by the Parliament in its constitutional power is not subject to Article 13 Clause 2. And such amendment and such powers include the power of amendment, the fundamental rights. The court observed that we are of the opinion that in the context of Article 13, law must be taken to main rules and legislation made in the exercise of ordinary legislative power, and not amendments to the constitution made in the exercise of constituent power, with the result that Article 13 Clause 2 does not affect amendments made under Article 368. The court upheld the validity of the First Amendment Act 1951 by using the literal interpretation. It also held the Article 368 entitled the Parliament of amend the constitution with treating the fundamental rights with any exception unlike that treated and Article 368. The court diverged with the view that the fundamental rights can be here voidable. The Supreme Court narrowed the view of Article 13 Clause 2 and adopted the progress of independent nation through the acquisition of property. So that's all for today. I hope you like the video. Please click the like button and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow.